Ukraine just picked its future infantry fighting vehicle. It's German-built, it's modular, and it's mean enough to make a BMP hide in the bushes. Meet the Lynx KF-41, the new backbone of Ukraine's mechanized army. Ukraine has officially chosen the German-made Rheinmetall Lynx KF-41 as its next-generation infantry fighting vehicle, and local production is set to begin under a new bilateral deal with Germany. This time, Ukraine is picking its own standard IFV for mass production. Now, the deal, signed during the latest Ramstein format meeting, puts Rheinmetall and Ukraine's state defense company, Ukroboronprom, in charge of joint manufacturing inside Ukraine. Hey friends, Wes here, defense writer and bad Russian speaker because mudro izuchat protivnika. And this is a huge shift in philosophy. For the past 3 years, Kyiv has been operating a patchwork of donated vehicles like Bradleys, Martyrs, CV-90s, and AMX-10RCs, even ex-Soviet BMPs. Now, each came with unique ammo, spare parts, and maintenance headaches. But now Ukraine is saying, enough chaos. One vehicle, one supply chain, one standard. And that standard is German engineering with Ukrainian grit. The first Lynx arrived in Ukraine in late 2024 from Hungary, which already produces the vehicle under license. Ukrainian crews tested it extensively, running it through simulated battle drills and repair cycles to see if it could survive the kind of punishment that Donbas dishes out daily. The verdict was it passed. Following those trials, Ukraine and Germany finalized the agreement to start full-scale Lynx production in-country. Now that we're in late 2025, Rheinmetall will build the new plant in cooperation with Ukroboronprom. Now, expanding on that existing partnership that already runs a repair and maintenance hub in western Ukraine. Rheinmetall CEO Armin Papiger has hinted that the contract could eventually cover several hundred Lynx vehicles. No numbers are public yet, but this isn't a token gesture. It's a blueprint for a long-term armored fleet. So why the Lynx, and why now? Well, Ukraine's choice of the Lynx KF-41 makes perfect sense. For one, it's modern. The Lynx is built around a modular design, which means it can be reconfigured for different missions in hours, not weeks. Need a troop carrier today and a command vehicle tomorrow? Swap out the mission module. The base chassis stays the same, and that flexibility saves Ukraine time and money and manpower, 3 things they can't spare. Second, it's NATO ready. Everything from the ammo to the electronics follows Western standards. That means it can share supply lines with Germany, with Hungary, and with Italy, all of whom operate or are buying the same platform. Now for Ukraine, that's a logistics dream compared to juggling Leopard, Martyr, and BMP spare parts simultaneously. And finally, it's tough. This is not a retooled Cold War relic. It's a battlefield-tuned beast built for drone-infested, artillery-heavy combat. At the heart of the Lynx is the Lance 2.0 turret, armed with a 35mm Wotan cannon and optional Spike LR2 anti-tank missiles. That gives it teeth sharp enough to punch through most Russian IFVs and even threaten older tanks. Its modular armor can shrug off 30mm shells on the front and 14.5mm shells on the sides. The double-floor design and the decoupled seats protect crews from mines and IEDs. All the while, Rheinmetall's rosy smoke system and StrikeShield active protection can intercept incoming anti-tank weapons. In simple terms, it's built to keep the crew alive even when everything outside is exploding. And it's fast. The Lynx runs on an 1100 horsepower lever engine that pushes its 44 to 50 ton frame at speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. That's faster than most tracked vehicles in its class and gives Ukrainian mechanized units true shoot-and-scoop mobility. It carries 3 crew and 8 dismounts fully equipped, giving commanders the ability to deliver infantry directly into contested zones with covering fire all the way in. This is not a battle taxi like an M113. This is more akin to the Bradley. Now, as I mentioned, what sets the Lynx apart is its modularity. The vehicle can be swapped into dozens of configurations like a command post, an ambulance, a mortar carrier, a recon unit, even air defense. Rheinmetall has already tested variants like the Sky Ranger 35, which mounts a revolver cannon turret to knock down drones and cruise missiles. For Ukraine, that flexibility is priceless. Imagine one chassis design that can handle nearly every battlefield role, simplifying training, simplifying spare parts, and repairs across the entire army. Rheinmetall's open digital architecture also means future upgrades like new optics or anti-drone systems or AI targeting modules. All of these can be plugged in without a full redesign. It's a platform designed to evolve, not expire. In my humble opinion, it's the start of Ukraine's next-generation army, the Industrial Revolution inside a war zone. Now, building tanks in an active war zone sounds insane, but that's exactly what Ukraine and Rheinmetall plan to do. By late this year, 2025, the first Ukrainian Lynx factory will be operational. At first, it'll handle final assembly, using components shipped from Germany and Hungary. Over time, more production will shift local. Armor welding, machining, electronics integration, until Ukraine can build most of the vehicle from scratch. This is part of Rheinmetall's long-term strategy to make Ukraine a permanent pillar of Europe's defense ecosystem. Orders between Kyiv and Rheinmetall have already tripled since 2022, and the company is also setting up facilities in Ukraine for ammunition production and tank repair. It's the largest wartime industrial partnership in Europe since World War II. But beyond the weapons, there's a human side: jobs. The Lynx program will train hundreds of Ukrainian workers in high-precision manufacturing, in welding, in assembly, and quality control. These skills will outlast the war and fuel the post-war reconstruction. Of course, this is Europe, which means nothing moves without paperwork. Rheinmetall has had some, shall we say, adventures getting projects off the ground lately. Delays with their ammo plants, export licenses tied up in Berlin, and layers of oversight thicker than tank armor. So while the official goal is to start Lynx production before the end of this year, even Rheinmetall's executives are hedging their bets. I used to work for Siemens, a big German company. Trust me, the German bureaucracy is just as hairy as the US, or even the Brits, who have turned bureaucracy into an art form. That said, the Germans have already proven they can make things happen. Their armored vehicle repair center in Ukraine is up and running. Their artillery shell plant is under construction right now, and the German government has approved export licenses for all the Lynx components. So yes, bureaucracy might slow it down, but it's not going to stop it. This is bigger than just the one-vehicle line. For the first time since independence, Ukraine is standardizing its mechanized force. Up till now, every Ukrainian brigade looked like a museum exhibit. American Bradleys next to Soviet BMP-1s, next to Swedish CV-90s, next to captured Russian BMPs and BTRs. It worked out of necessity, but it was a logistical chaos. By choosing the Lynx, Ukraine is streamlining its entire approach. Spare parts become simpler, training gets shorter, maintenance becomes predictable, and perhaps most importantly, Ukraine gains its mechanical independence. It's no longer just receiving armored vehicles, it's building them. That kind of sovereignty is strategic goal. For Germany, this is also a smart play. Berlin has taken a beating in the court of public opinion for being slow and hesitant on aid, especially early in the war. But now it's playing the long game, helping Ukraine become a self-sufficient defense manufacturer that can stand shoulder to shoulder with NATO. The Lynx partnership complements the earlier transfers of Leopard 1s and 2 tanks, Marder IFVs, and Iris-T air defense systems. It also gives German industry a profitable role in rebuilding Eastern Europe's defense architecture after the war. Call it enlightened self-interest or a very German kind of atonement. So, when do we see these things rolling into combat? Well, Rheinmetall estimates that Ukrainian-assembled Lynx vehicles could be operational by 2027, that's the year after next, depending on funding and the speed of local training. Now that might sound far off, but production pipelines take time, and once it starts, it won't stop. Even during wartime, Ukraine's existing repair hubs are churning out overhauled Leopards and Marders. Adding a production line for Lynx is just the next logical step. Expect the first batches to equip elite mechanized brigades near key sectors, likely Kharkiv or Zaporizhia, where mobility and armor are both in high demand. Now, the Lynx represents industrial resilience wrapped in steel. Ukraine is fighting for its survival, but it's also building the framework for what comes next. A modern army aligned to NATO standards and powered by domestic production. For Kyiv, the Lynx is a declaration. We will fight now, and we will rebuild stronger than before. If Rheinmetall pulls this off, it'll be the first time since World War II that a European nation builds brand new IFVs while under fire. And they won't be museum pieces, they'll be state-of-the-art machines built by Ukrainians, for Ukrainians, on Ukrainian soil. It's fitting, really, the Lynx is named after a predator known for patience and precision, both qualities Ukraine has shown in abundance. And as for Russia, well, the last thing a bear wants to see in its forest is a lynx. That's it for today, friends. When history looks back on this war, the story of Ukraine's survival won't just be written in blood and courage. It'll be written in the factories, in the welding arcs, and in the unmistakable sound of German diesel engines rumbling east. Subscribing is the best way to support this channel, and as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.